Okay, what is your definition of secondary income?
Having,
Another source.
another source of income, getting it regularly, apart from your salaries or the business income that you have.
See, in real world, there is it is practically at a young age, 25, 30, 35, if you're building your wealth yourselves, you are not a beneficiary of a big inheritance, or you have not won a big lottery, or you have not created a unicorn, it's impossible to get a secondary income. What you are doing when people talk about the secondary income, they are sacrificing future wealth for some present cash flow.
Can you just break that down for the viewers?
See,
What does that mean?
thing is, let's talk about her family. Okay, so the monthly cash flow, monthly income would be roughly around. I'm just making an estimate. Would be let's say around 3 lakh rupees. Okay, their expenses, I'm pretty sure, would be way less than that. Would be monthly side would be standing at around 2. Okay, they are already saving 1 lakh every month. Let's say you invest in some instrument, or you sell you are doing some liquidation every month and getting some money out of there. This is additional money that you are getting. Anyway, you are going to invest it back. You don't need this money. Your expenses still your expenses still way less than your regular income. So what do you do with secondary income? When you do that liquidation, you pay taxes on that, you pay transaction cost, and you are disturbing the overall compounding process.
So
For
would it be
nothing.
right to say, from what you're actually mentioning here, if you already have a regular source of income, which is already on the higher side compared to your monthly expenses, then having a secondary source of income is pretty illogical.
It's pretty illogical. There is no practical use for that
Right.
income flow, that money flow, that inflow that you are
Right.
looking at. Okay, I am not
So
discounting.
sorry to cut you here.
Yeah.
By secondary income, I would mean, if I start something, a small business, maybe for example, to get a secondary income. So that would scale very slowly because, that is getting my limited attention.
Yeah.
So I would want it to grow substantially, as I retire. So when I retire, I should be able to take care of that business, and that business should be able to give me good amount of money. So I think that is what I mean by secondary income, and not just getting some money.
Thing is, I'm getting into that. I'm touching that aspect as well.
Okay.
See, secondary income, I appreciate effort towards secondary income if it is a paper money.
What is paper money?
So paper money means you have the potential to generate a secondary income, but you have chosen not to generate it. Okay, so you have a corpus which can give 1% return. It will be covering nearly 20-30% of your expenses, but as you don't need that money, you are just letting it grow. Okay. Possibility of a secondary income, or a potential of a secondary income, is kind of a unemployment insurance that you have. Okay, let's say you want to start a business 10 years down the line or 15 years down the line. You are looking for early retirement, or there is some sort of a job crisis. Okay, so this the higher the secondary income is, more the cushion you would have. So if you cash that secondary income those secondary income potentials when you actually don't need them, what you are doing, you are cutting future potential. Your secondary income would die down significantly, would reduce significantly in future when you actually need it.
So in essence, if you have a regular source of income which is taking care of your expenses, you should focus on accumulating wealth, which
Yeah.
will probably get you the same level of income or even higher, but don't necessarily cash out at this stage.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
To understand. So let's say a person is 25-year-old and he's just done completed his MBA. The person has joined. Income is, let's say, 50,000 rupees a month. Okay. Till 40 years, he will get 12% increment on an average.
Right.
Okay, which is quite decent. Okay. And now the person decides that I will put 40%, I will save 40% of my monthly income every month, and I will invest in, let's say, diversified portfolio, mutual funds and stocks. Okay. This process would be followed. Okay. If we choose to generate secondary income at age of 30, he would be covering 30% of his expenses. Okay. 30, 40, 50% of his expenses, right? Nearly 50% of that expenses. If he choose to again generate income at the age of 35, he would be covering nearly I would say 80% of his expenses. Okay.
At that point in time.
At that point in time. If we choose to do it at age of 40, he would be covering 100% of expenses. More than that, 125.
This is because of the appreciation of his
Compounding.
corpus.
125% of expenses. Now look at the impact. So you are at age 40. You are generating every month an income that is 125% of your expenses. Okay. So basically 25% is going back into the corpus. Okay. So corpus would keep increasing. Corpus would not reduce because 25 you are putting something back there. Okay. Every month additional. So corpus would increase. It will give you an inflation benefit as well, and increasing corpus going forward. So that's the impact of compounding. Had he taken out money at the age of 30, okay, this corpus would have become a reducing corpus. Okay. By age of 45. Okay. He would have exhausted it by age of 50. So in case of any job loss and anything, that corpus would not suffice him for life. But here at 40, age of 40, he has created kind of an unemployment insurance. That corpus would allow him to sustain his lifestyle throughout his life. That's the magic of 15 years of compounding.
And for all you folks, if you're really interested in knowing what would be the ideal thing for you guys in this kind of context, we have a free Excel template that we have broken it down. And you can download it from the link in the description, and you can add your variables and actually see how this kind of a example might play out really in your life.